There has indeed been a lot of talk about this new poll from the Washington Post and ABC News. Former President Trump, who I'm told just wrapped up those remarks we showed you a few minutes ago in South Carolina, with a 9-point lead, in this poll at least, over President Biden. The weird thing about the poll was that the Washington Post puts out the poll and is now suggesting that its own poll might be an outlier, which you don't see often. We do have a couple of outliers on our panel to give us some analysis of all this. Bob Cusack, editor-in-chief of The Hill, here today, as well as Chris Stirewalt, political director here at NewsNation. You have some experience in this game, Chris. So do you, of course, Bob. But, Chris, you seen many pollsters put out polls and have their own organization say, I don't know, this might be a bit of an outlier?
Well, I don't know what Bob would do. But in my experience, if you have a poll that you think is bad, you do another poll. And Washington Post and ABC and the research firm that they use, I assume that this was not the first sample, that as you have a sample out in the field, it's coming back, you get to see the first couple of days, you look at it, you make a determination, is something screwy here or not. I can only assume that because the results of this poll were so depressing to many of the Washington Post core readers and audience, that they wanted to soften the blow. They wanted to say, hey, I know this looks really bad and that the thing you least want to happen in American political life looks likely to happen in this poll. Don't worry about it. It's just an outlier.
Yeah, it's odd. I mean, the thing, Bob, is that either way for the current White House, the polling's not great. Even the polls that are not quote-unquote outliers, I mean, it's maybe tied. I mean, this is a incumbent president running, I know, against a former president, but one, by the way, who's facing, 91 felony charges in 4 jurisdictions, and it's at best a tie race, even if this poll's not right. So what do you make of where we are right now?
Well, listen, I think Trump has run a pretty good campaign. I think his moves on whether it's skipping the debate so far and visiting UAW, going to Michigan, that's smart. He's buried DeSantis and not sure if DeSantis can make a comeback. So I think this is, now maybe he's not up 9 points, but the trend is that Trump has picked up support and Biden's kind of stuck. And that's why we're seeing, we're hearing more rumors of, will Biden actually be the nominee? I think he will, but it's something that Democrats are getting nervous about. Yeah,
I'm nervous about a lot of things right now. I want to dig into the rest of the Republican field, at least for a moment. We do have the debate, as you guys alluded to, in a couple of days. And let me look at Nikki Haley, just as an example. Then we could talk about some other candidates. But it's kind of interesting on the numbers. We have a little handy telestrator here at our studio that we're going to try to use to dig into these numbers, which, who knows, could be a disaster, but we'll try it out either way. So the point of this is, if you look at Nikki Haley, she is matching up really well head-to-head against President Biden. So, right, this is one poll up 5, right? You look at other polls that she's in, it's Haley up by 6. You don't see this other than the Washington Post outlier poll from other candidates. You bring in the rest of the field, and there it is. Top of the screen, it's Nikki Haley, 49-43. Trump and Biden in a non-outlier are pretty much in a dead heat, and Tim Scott is up by 2, certainly within the margin of error. But as I go to you guys, and Chris, you take this first, this is the obvious problem for Haley. The old, you got to be in it to win it. And if you're here at just 7%, that's a problem. I mean, Trump at 54%. Is there anything she can do to change that dynamic, to make this a race that if she were to be in it head-to-head, obviously she matches up pretty well? And if so, does that start later this week at the debate?
Well, Donald Trump has managed to do something very remarkable, which is to be the front runner, to basically be running as the incumbent, but also to be the candidate who you say will send a message. And the message that the Republican electorate wants to send is that Joe Biden and the Justice Department will not prevent the Republican Party from nominating Donald Trump. So there is this the negative reinforcement that really helps Donald Trump with Republicans, who now many of them feel like if they don't nominate Trump, they'll be caving in to Joe Biden. Donald Trump could not ask for a better circumstance in which to do this. Now, whether that persists as we get closer and Republicans start thinking about what they really want to do and how this really goes down, I don't know. I expect we'll see changes in the race as we get closer to Iowa in January. But for now, Donald Trump has the Republican Party right where he wants it.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.